What's going on, YouTube? Thread the needle. Got my guys with me.
Yeah,
How y'all doing today, man?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I just noticed I still got this old background from when Jonathan Taylor had that record breaking game. But that's all. That don't really mean nothing.
Yeah, it don't mean
We ain't
nothing
in
no
the
more.
playoffs
yeah,
no more. Hey,
It don't mean
it
nothing.
is what it is.
yeah.
But
Hope
Me,
you
me
enjoyed
and
your
Jarren
one
fresh
week
out of
of
class.
glory.
y'all
One
fresh out
week.
of class. Ooh.
Me and Jarren fresh out of 9:30.
Yes, sir.
It's
What y'all got going today, man?
nothing, man.
Work,
None. Class. But
work.
anywho, man, make sure y'all like, comment,
Yeah,
subscribe.
go ahead and do that
You
now.
know,
Exit the video and do that right now.
Because a lot of y'all watch the video and don't even know that you not subscribed.
So yeah, if you not subscribed, sub right now, click out the video and come back to it. We'll still be here. We ain't going nowhere. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it quick. Let's go.
all right. We're gonna start with the NFL playoffs. This weekend slate of games. A lot of games were fun to watch. You know, some outcomes were expected. We're gonna start out with the Rams and Packers. Which our boys seeing that?
Well, I mean, it was kind of what I was expecting. Dominating performance from Aaron Rodgers, MVP by far. I mean, I think at this point he's got the MVP locked up, solidified. He threw away the key. Um, but the Rams, I mean, dude, I don't know what it is. I mean, Jared Goff. If you look at the completion to attempts, it wasn't bad. But just watching him play, I didn't really like what I saw from Goff. I mean, the Rams defense is good enough to where if they had just a competent offense, they could probably do something. Like they probably could have made a deeper run in the playoffs. Like their defense is elite, but Aaron Donald's getting clamped. I mean, Aaron Donald didn't even get a pressure on Aaron Rodgers, I don't believe. And then, I thought I was expecting Jalen Ramsey to follow Devontae across the field a little bit more, but I do like what the Packers did. They kind of avoided that. They kind of they kept shifting Delonte to the other side and letting him pick on the second corner. So it was really more so schemes, but it was an outcome I was expecting.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was going to be a closer game than it was. Shout out to Matt LaFleur. That was a great game plan that they came out with. They turned out to have the ball pretty much an entire quarter more than the Rams did. And the Rams is more of a control the ball offense. So to speed up a team like that is like crucial, especially in the playoffs. And then Jared Goff, he came in with a broken thumb coming into the game. And I mean, you could see it on him. I mean, he was fighting. I mean, they really didn't have a backup quarterback, but he was out there. He tried to do what he could do. Like you said, he had a real nice completion rate. But when your two best, not two best players, but when your two arguably most important players battling injuries and Aaron Donald and Jared Goff, you're gonna do so much. But with the Rams, they got a lot of talent on their team, so that was why they was able to stay in the game. But like I said, when you got injuries on with your most valuable players, it's kind of hard to win in the big ones.
Yeah, man. The game that was before that, Ravens Bills. Lamar Jackson had a pretty scary looking concussion towards the end of that game. Um, what do y'all have to say about that one?
Oh, well, I had my first thoughts on the game were I felt like the Ravens offense just as a whole was just bad. Um, I wasn't really too mad at Lamar's performance. I mean, he did what he could. I mean, now that interception that was like in the red zone, that was bad. That was a bad throw. But other than that, I mean, he didn't play bad to me. Offensive line was getting pushed into his lap like every other play. So I can't really blame him for having to scramble a lot. And then his receivers, I mean, they need to get them a true number one receiver. Marquise Brown had a okay game. I mean, he had that one catch that was like 30 yards. That really, only reason why he got the 87 was because of that. But I think he's more suited kind of as a slot guy, kind of like just let him be like that second or third option. But they need a number one like true receiver. And then the running game. running game was shut down pretty much. I mean, the Bills had a pretty good game plan with the on stopping the run. They didn't really let Lamar get them beat in open space a lot like other teams do. So I like this game plan from the Bills. Josh Allen, I mean, boy went crazy. Uh, Stephon Diggs, I mean, Bills looking nice, but I don't know what they're gonna do this coming Sunday though.
Yep. Lamar. I mean, he didn't really impress me. I mean, he did what I thought he was gonna do, and that's make up plays with his feet, make throws that I mean almost any quarterback can throw. But you want to see Lamar take that next step, and I mean I ain't gonna say he didn't take a step because he did improve on his throwing, but you can see like we got Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and those names like all you the first thing to come off your head, come off the dome is their arm, and when you hear Lamar Jackson, first thing you think about is his legs. And Josh Allen, he's starting to turn into his arm more than his legs, and that's why he moved on more than Lamar. Now, when in terms of the Bills, their run game was the one that was completely shut down, in my opinion. But they actually had this their running game always been non-existent.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be curious to see what they do because you don't want to throw the ball that many times against a team like the Chiefs because the more possessions you're really just asking for a loss. I mean, the over is gonna be super duper high in that game, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna preview that later down the road. I also agree with you, Guap, in terms of getting the number one weapon for Lamar because Marquise. I mean, he's real nice, but you also just want somebody you can just throw it up to and see him make a play. And I mean, he's just physically limited in terms of that part of the game.
Yeah. And another thing also, I mean, I get the whole narrative with Lamar about his arm, but in the same like I feel like he right now he just knows that the team is better with him running the ball, maybe. But I still think if he is that number one receiver, like if they get someone like an Allen Robinson or um, even though I don't know if it's gonna happen with like a Julio, just some like a like you said, someone you can just throw the ball up to.
Yeah.
We gonna see Lamar, turn more into a back to where he was. Because at Louisville, he was kind of a pocket passer, but he just got out in open space and he just made plays. And then like you said with Josh Allen, he's turning more into an arm player. But I would say that was also because he got a number one receiver in Stephon Diggs.
Uh,
So
I do. I also, John Harbaugh, man, you need to really think about turning my boy into a bell cow. I mean, y'all made the move, the obvious move, in releasing Mark Ingram. I don't know why you keep trying to give Gus Edwards touches. Please stop it. Like, let my boy JK just take the helm, and y'all can really do something. Get your quarterback. Get your wide receiver. You got your quarterback. You got your running back of the future. So just play it smart, and the Ravens can get somewhere. But it's all on Lamar's arm. If they ever gonna win a championship, like I said, man, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, like all those guys, we know in the playoffs, it's all about what you can do with your arm and not with your leg. So hopefully Lamar can do that. He got a lot of years ahead of him to fix it. But in 2021, you know how that is with quarterbacks. So he might only have about 2-3 years to fix it. So
yeah, that's fast though.
Next game on the next day, the Browns versus the Chiefs. Chiefs had a scare with Patrick Mahomes going out mid-game. Um, the Browns had a chance, man. They had a chance. That was a good. That was the light at the end of the tunnel for the Browns. But the Chiefs still brought it out towards the end. What y'all had to say about that?
I didn't like the game plan from the Browns. You hold the Chiefs to 22 points, you should win that game. That's about the lowest you're gonna hold that offense to. I mean, the defense played exceptionally well from the Browns, but when your offense is only giving you 17 and you're holding probably the best offense in the league to under 30, you gotta feel like you should win that game. I felt like they should have ran the ball more with Chubb. I mean, he got 13 carries, but he definitely should have had like 20. I would have just gave him the ball. Run the clock. like you were saying, like Jan was saying, you don't want to play the passing game when you're playing against the Chiefs because you're just giving them more possessions. You're giving Patrick Mahomes more time to
Yep.
score. And
Yep.
with an explosive offense like that, you just got to run the ball. And I mean, Nick Chubb had 13 carries for 69 yards, so it wasn't like he wasn't, getting anywhere. He was averaging 5.3 a carry. Kareem Hunt, I mean, I was surprised he didn't really get that many touches. He only had like 6. So I just felt like they should have just stuck to what got them there. Really was running the ball. I mean, Baker Mayfield threw the ball 37 times. That's not really how y'all got there. Y'all didn't get there with
Yeah.
Baker throwing 30 times. Y'all got there with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt carrying like 10, 15, 20 times a game. So I just didn't like the game plan. I felt like they kind of played into the Chiefs' hand with that one. But the future in Cleveland is bright though. I mean, you really got to shake their hand. I mean, I don't think anyone was really expecting the Browns to be able to get this far yet. So, you know, they just got to keep building on this. I think they needed a loss like this, though. They needed a humbling loss, something that they can use as fuel for next season. Come out more hungrier. So
Yeah.
that's all I got to take away from it.
Yep. The Chiefs came out kind of business as usual. It was very impressive to see Patrick Mahomes come out. I believe they put out 4 straight scoring drives, if I'm not mistaken. I think 3 of them did turn into field goals, but still they drove the field. It was very impressive. Now it was kind of crazy to see Mahomes go down the way he did because you didn't see the head hit the ground for real.
Yeah,
But
I was
what I
confused.
heard from the Pat McAfee show that it turns out to be some nerve thing in the neck, and that made him knock them off balance and all types of stuff. But Chad Henne came in the second half, and I mean he managed. He didn't put up a touchdown or nothing, but he managed. And Andy Reid, I mean, you just gotta take your hats off to Andy Reid, best offensive coach in the game, probably the best of all time.
Yeah,
To not be afraid to make that type of call in your own territory with the game on the line. You just gotta take your cap off, man. So in terms of Cleveland, I did like what they did, and you just gotta capitalize when you drive. Like you said, Guap, you want to be able to score when you get the chances, because the Chiefs stay super duper explosive, and when you hold them under 22, that's a game you should win. Even though the 22 is because of Mahomes, but 22 is 22, so you definitely should have won that game. But the first drive where they went down the field trying to answer for Mahomes' first touchdown, drove down the field. Baker took a big sack, knocked him out of field goal range, and then in that the Rashad Higgins out of bounds. Now I want to know how y'all feel about that in terms of the ball going out the end zone and the defense getting the ball. Do they need to change that rule? Because Rich Eisen was very adamant about it. I think they should change the rule. It's pretty trash
What,
rule.
but what would you? Yeah, it was pretty. That definitely changed the momentum of the game. I was like, dang, my boy folded that. But like, what would they change it to though?
I mean, you can either do what Rich was saying, lose the ball, like wherever you lost the ball at, that's where you get the ball, or you can give them like a 15-yard penalty or something for getting like letting it go out of bounds. But like, just don't take away the possession. You know
I
what I'm
definitely
saying?
agree with that though, because that definitely changed the course of the
Yeah.
game.
Or if the defense gets the ball, they get it at the 1-yard line and not at the 20, where it's
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
kind of rewarding them for
Yeah, for
almost giving up a touchdown.
getting hit.
That was a big
And
play.
then it was an illegal hit on the play, like he hit him with straight crown of the helmet. So
Yeah,
if we really want to be technical, that's a
it should have
15
been
yard
a
penalty
target.
for
Yeah,
him.
it should have
So
been a targeting.
yeah,
It
That's
was,
crazy.
yeah, that was crazy to me how they reviewed it, and it was like it was a clear targeting. But I don't think that isn't it a rule that you can't call a targeting from a review
yeah.
or something
Mm.
like yeah. So that
You know
was
how the
trash.
NFL
They
is.
need to change that too. By the way, like if you review a play and you see targeting, call it. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't call it. That's the
Yeah,
whole point of reviewing. You're trying to see what you missed, and that's what you missed. Call
Exactly.
it.
hmm But last game on Sunday, Tom Brady pulled it out over the Saints.
thirty
Some might
twenty.
say he's the GOAT. This might be Drew Brees' last season.
Gotta
Let me
be.
let me let me hop in on that one. Let me hop in on this one. Shout out to Drew. You know what I'm saying? Just like Max Kellerman said, I mean, you won't be known as the on the Mount Rushmore of the NFL, but you were definitely like one of the greats. You know what I'm saying? one of the best I ever seen. I remember the first Super Bowl I actually watched. I was rooting for the Colts. But man, you broke my heart. You and Travis Porter. Ain't that the name, Porter? Something like that. Some
Somebody,
Porter.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Do they got
Took
that
to the
pick?
crib, and I was hurting that night. But I mean, Drew, I've been what it was 2006. Like that was
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
I've been watching you since then. So I wish you the best. But in terms of the game, I mean, you can't get the ball away 3 times like that. Michael Thomas tried to tell you my boy's out there down bad. But I mean, shout out to MT for trying to play through an ankle like that. The Buccaneers defense, Devin White, Levante David. I mean, best linebacker tandem in the game. Devin White he was all around the ball the entire game. But Brady didn't impress me. I mean, all in all, Brady didn't impress me. The offense didn't impress me. Marshawn put Mike Evans back in the box. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how the Buccaneers gonna do against the Pack because Jair Alexander can definitely do the same thing to Mike Evans. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
What do you feel about Michael Thomas not getting the catch? I did see a report that said he was playing on an injury that required surgery, but what do you think
Yeah,
about that?
I mean, what I was watching the Zubin Johnson thing show,
Yeah.
Williams show, and they made a good point. I mean, if you really think about it, since the Drew Brees, George Floyd thing, with the flag and all that, like when Drew Brees had that moment, like Michael Thomas one of the first people to speak out on it. And if you really like the chemistry ain't really been there since. Like against Taysom Hill, his numbers was kind of the same, but all the games with Drew, it kind of fell off. And like when the person pointed that out, I was like, kind of makes sense. But I feel like Drew shouldn't. Not Drew. Michael shouldn't have played. To be honest, like that Jalen Waddle effect that I was worried about, it kind of happened in that game. He made himself play, and then they kind of had a chemistry without him since he didn't play the entire season, pretty much. So I feel like he could have sat out, but hey, you knew it was Drew last game, so I understand.
Yeah, he had to play. Yeah.
Like you were saying, Jan, I wasn't really impressed with either one, Tom Brady or Drew Brees in this matchup. Um, Drew, I'm gonna start with him. It just looked like his last game. I mean, and it sucks for someone like him, one of the all-time greats, to go out like that. But I just feel like at this point, the team is just not his anymore. I think that they should just let Jameis start. First of all, Jameis came into a dime.
Jay Besma.
I was filtering. I looked at the phone. I was like, "Oh, touchdown!" I was like, "Who threw the ball? Who was the black dude?"
Jay Boo.
Who was the black dude?
Jay Besma.
Yeah. And then it just felt like his last game. And then Jay Glazer came before the game started and said that it was going to be his last game.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, Michael Thomas, he shouldn't have played because he really was just a non-factor, literally a non-factor in the game. I mean, I wouldn't even. I told you I was trying to troll you a little bit and said he got locked down, but I can't even say he really got locked down. It was just like I don't even remember Drew throwing him the ball once, honestly.
Yeah, he had 4 targets, and it's like that ain't in the game. Like he
I
had
don't even
10
remember
catches in the
that.
game. Like,
And then going to the Bucks side, it was just, I'm just looking at these numbers. You got Tom Brady, 18 to 33, 199. I mean, that's all right. You got 2 touchdowns, then turn the ball over, but it was just really kind of a sloppy game to me. A whole lot of back and forth, and then Devin White impressed, Levante David impressed. The Bucks defense, I mean, they was looking good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know what they're gonna do against them boys in green and yellow in Lambeau. It's gonna be a tough task.
Yeah.
Trying to go up in Lambeau. A hot Aaron Rodgers, a hot Aaron Jones, a hot Devontae Adams.
So go ahead and we're going to that anyways next. So go ahead and give me a little quick score prediction for the Buccaneers and Packers.
I don't really have a score predict.
Or anything you looking for in that game. What you looking for?
I am looking to see what's the game plan for the Bucks against this offense, like the Packers offense. I mean, bro, them boys this is the best offense Aaron Rodgers has had in a minute. probably the best I can think of, honestly. Them is they just it's there's so many dimensions to the offense now. It's not just they're not just throwing the ball every play and then he's throwing the scrubs. I mean, he's got Devontae Adams, who I think is probably the best receiver in the league right now. And then you got Aaron Jones, Aaron Jones is a dog. So I just want to know what's the game plan for the Bucks against the Packers, and then Tom Brady. I mean, this is your chance. I mean, Tom Brady gonna have to turn the clock back a couple years. He gonna have to be better than 18 or 33. He gonna have to be better than that in order for them to win. He gonna have to
Well,
put up more points.
I guess I'll just take the Buccaneer offense, Packers defense side of it. Will the Bucks be able to repeat what they did to the Packers earlier in the year? Like people kind of forget that the Packers got slapped by like 30 points to the Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers really crushed them on the ground. So will Leonard Fournette be able to do that again? And Mike Evans, like for real, like I genuinely did not like what I saw from you this season. I only watched you twice, and it was when my dog was on you and he clamped you up twice. So I'm going to see what you can do against Jair Alexander. That's going to be the matchup for me to watch. And on the other side, yeah, you already know Aaron Rodgers. Can the front seven stop Aaron Jones? 'Cause I don't think you can stop Devontae Adams. I don't think they have the corner for it. Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean and the boys. So can White, David, and the guys Barrett control Jones and get to the quarterback?
Next game, Bills Chiefs. What y'all looking for in that?
Singletary Moss that decides the game. If Singletary and Moss can get them about 80 to 100 yards on the ground, I mean, you know, Allen's gonna do something with his legs. So if Singletary and Moss can combine for about 100 yards, I think they can make it a game. But if that run game continues to be inexistent and Chris Jones and them boys feast, it's gonna be a long day because on the other side of the field, I mean, White, he can't run with Tyreek. So you're gonna have. I mean, I like their secondary zone wise, and that's really what you're gonna have to do on them. But I mean, do you really want to sit in the zone with Patrick Mahomes?
Mm-mm. That's why I like the Chiefs by 10 in this game. I don't really have a score prediction, but I just like them by 10. Like you were saying, um, Singletary and Moss, y'all gotta step it up. Because you have to minimize the Chiefs. That is how you beat the Chiefs. You minimize their possessions. Don't let them get the ball because they 9 times out of 10 are going to score it, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. Like they're just too explosive. I mean, even like how you saying, even if they shut down Tyreek, they're not going to shut down Travis Kelce too. And then their running game. I mean, the Chiefs' running game isn't bad. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, Damian Williams had 78 yards on the ground against the Browns, so they can run the ball too. But obviously, they're just better passing. So it's just I have to see what's the plan. I mean, how are you gonna stop them? Because if you don't have a running game, I don't think you can. So that's the only way you can beat the Chiefs.
Running game for the Bills when they got the ball and Tremont Edmonds. I'm very excited to see freaking nature middle linebacker. Biggest moment of his career. I'm excited to see what he can do if he can quarterback his defense against my homeboy.
Well,
homie.
That's all we got on Thread and Needle.
Yeah, man.
Like I said earlier, make sure you
hey,
like,
comment down
comment,
below.
subscribe.
Comment down below like what you looking for in these two divisional matchups, please. I want to know what y'all think.
We'll see y'all on
We know
Friday.
We up.
Hey, wait, is it over?
No, it's not.
Marvin.
Oh,
This
hey
is
man.
Marvin, please.
bad.
Hey, all right, we can know.